The stadium explodes with energy. There are lights, there's sweat, and above all else, there's a crowd cheering for one man only. A man who doesn't just stand in the middle of the stadium as a player, but in the present day, he seems to carry the very essence of baseball in his bones. His name? None other than Elly De La Cruz. To say De La Cruz has the potential to be a great baseball player would be a huge understatement, because this isn't just any other player making it big on the field. Elly De La Cruz is a diamond in the rough and a legend in the making, known far and wide for his mighty swings and breathtaking speed on the base paths. Such is the wild energy this player brings to the field that as the spring training fields came alive in 2024, De La Cruz was coming in hot. This baseball player revealed he was aiming for not 60, not 70, but 80 steals this year, and he's on track to do it. When it comes to homers, though, he wasn't too worried about that. You see, Elly's love for stealing bases trumps hitting homers. Why? Well, in the words of the man himself, De La Cruz just loves running.
I like running. I mean, I feel great when I run at the bases. And that's electric, and that's giving electrifying to a whole stadium. And that's what I like.
Before his dazzling debut in 2023, De La Cruz was already making waves as a top prospect, and when he finally got his chance to shine, he didn't disappoint. With 13 homers and 35 stolen bases in just 98 games, it was clear he was destined for greatness. And sure enough, De La Cruz's incredible mix of power and speed isn't just talk, it's backed up by the numbers. One of the highlights of 2023 was when Elly's crack of the bat echoed through Progressive Field, and all eyes turned to watch as he sent the ball soaring with an exit velocity of 119.2 miles per hour.
Single. High in the air, deep right! The first multi-home run game for Elly De La Cruz.
Now, we can celebrate De La Cruz's skill, but what's even more remarkable is his consistency. Despite playing fewer games than many of his peers, De La Cruz ranked among the elite in hits over 114 miles per hour, 4 times to be exact. That's a testament to his raw talent and dedication to the game. But perhaps the most unforgettable display of his power came on a seemingly ordinary Tuesday in 2024. With a swing that seemed to defy physics, De La Cruz launched a line drive that found its mark right in the window of teammate Hunter Green's car. While that is a feat of its own, Elly is in another league entirely when zooming around the bases. In 2023, his sprint speed of 30.5 feet per second was the fastest in all of Major League Baseball, and his base running skills ranked him in the top 3% of players. And boy, did he put that speed to good use. Remember June 2023 when he hit for the cycle against the Braves?
He's going to have a lot of scoring opportunities. De La Cruz, right center. Down base hit. Could he go 3? India around third. India scores. It's a cycle.
Or how about July 8th when he stole second, third, and even home plate against the Brewers? That's the kind of lightning-fast action that makes De La Cruz a standout on the diamond. Of course, nobody's perfect, and even Elly has areas to work on. His strikeout rate was a bit high at 33.7%, especially against those tricky off-speed pitches. But here's the thing, De La Cruz is only 22, and he's already gone from playing in the Rookie League in 2021 to making a name for himself in the majors in just 2 short years. That's some serious hustle, guys. So when he set his sights on stealing 80 bases in a season, it's not just wishful thinking. It's a goal backed by his track record of rapid progression and undeniable talent. After all, once you take a look at some of the other plays Elly has had in 2023, it's hard to see why he wouldn't have goals that are mountain high. Though the Reds fell short of playoff glory to the Cardinals in the National League wildcard game, on social media they reminisced about De La Cruz's insane play and even declared it a top moment of their season. Not just that, Elly also made quite the impact after his mid-June call-up. Hitting .235, he slugged an impressive 13 homers and swiped 35 bases. All of these achievements showcased his dynamic skills on the field, no doubt. But here's the exciting part. If he can boost his 300 on-base percentage in the upcoming season, watch out. Experts say if he stays on his current path, he should steal 94 bases this year. That's unheard of, guys. If the predictions are correct, he could also hit 42 homers, forming his very own 40-90 club. We all know Ronald Acuna Jr. was the first to form the 40-70 club, but I don't think anyone expected the possibility of a 40-90 club. Seeing how much respect and attention Elly has received in the present day, you'd think he was born with his talents. But De La Cruz's journey to stardom wasn't always smooth sailing. For De La Cruz, success was a dream he'd been chasing for years. Growing up in Sabana Grande de Boya, a small town in the Dominican Republic, he didn't have access to structured youth leagues. Instead, he honed his skills by hitting tennis balls around outside. Soon, at just 6 years old, Elly De La Cruz had to make a tough decision. If he wanted to play baseball, he would have to leave his home. And that's what he did. Barely old enough to tie his shoes, he left his family and stayed with his coach's brother just so he could play ball. Time flew by, and after 4 years, Elly De La Cruz was ready for the next big step in his baseball journey. Elly went to Santo Domingo, where he found himself at a baseball academy surrounded by older players dreaming of making it to the major leagues. Seeing them get scouted gave De La Cruz hope. He knew at that point that he was on the right path. But despite all his hard work, he still wasn't catching the eye of scouts. After about 10 years since he first left home, Elly De La Cruz was feeling disheartened and wondered if he had made the wrong decision. And then, out of nowhere, he met a scout from the Reds. In a twist of fate, De La Cruz ended up in a tryout he wasn't even supposed to be in. He was paired with a star shortstop to make him look good. But Elly stole his thunder, and the scouts had their eyes on him. Standing tall and athletic, Elly De La Cruz caught the eye of some scouts, including Sean Pender, who noted his promising bat speed. Despite his potential, though, De La Cruz remained under the radar within the Reds organization during the 2018 and 2019 seasons. Then in 2020, when the COVID-19 pandemic stopped the whole world, De La Cruz was afraid he would be cut from the team. When he wasn't, everything changed for him. Instead of dwelling on the uncertainty of his future, he shifted his focus. Before the sun even rose, he was hitting the field for workouts, and he didn't stop there. He joined forces with other minor leaguers near his hometown, forming a local team. Together, they traveled across the Dominican Republic, challenging any team they could find to pick up games. De La Cruz was hungry for competition, and he found plenty of it. Finally, his opportunity came at the Reds' post-draft camp in July 2021. Standing in the batter's box, facing a pitcher with a blazing 98-mile-per-hour fastball, De La Cruz got his chance to shine. And shine he did, showing the Reds just what kind of prospect they had on their hands. Not long after, De La Cruz suited up for the Reds' Arizona Complex League team, and boy, did he impress. In just 11 games, he hit an amazing 400 with 11 extra base hits and 13 RBIs. His stellar play got him moved up to the low A with the Daytona Tortugas, and he didn't miss a beat. Despite being one of the youngest players on the team, De La Cruz showed he was a force to be reckoned with. He could hit, he could field, and he was an all-around standout player. In 2022, De La Cruz's star kept rising. From being a top 100 prospect, he climbed into the top 10. In the first part of the season, he hit .303 with a .968 OPS in High A, and he was still one of the youngest players in the league. Then he got called up to the Double A, where he kept up his strong performance with a .305 batting average and a .910 OPS. In the baseball saga of 2022, De La Cruz emerged as a shooting star, and he absolutely dazzled fans with 28 home runs and an incredible 47 stolen bases. But as the tale continued into 2023, a new chapter unfolded as he began his journey in AAA. And oh, how he shone even brighter than before. Scouts started comparing him to the likes of Ken Griffey Jr., Barry Bonds, Eric Davis, Alex Rodriguez, and Fernando Tatis Jr. That is some high praise. Can you imagine how surreal that must have felt for Elly? The same man who, just at 6 years old, took that leap of faith and left his home. Years passed waiting for MLB scouts to notice his talent, and at times he didn't think it would happen. Yet, through it all, he persevered, fueled by a fire that burned brighter with each setback. And now, doubt is a distant memory. De La Cruz has etched his name among the stars of MLB, and he's already carving his own path straight into the record books. With young prospects, there's always hype surrounding them, and some just don't live up to the hype. Look at Jackson Holliday's running the majors this year. But I feel like the hype for Elly De La Cruz came after he's already performed so well. But I want to hear from you. Is Elly De La Cruz on the verge of becoming one of the greatest baseball players we've ever seen? Do you think he'll achieve the 90 stolen bases and 40 home runs this year to form his very own 90-40 club? Let me know in the comments, check out these great pitching performances, and subscribe to Baseball Buzz.